Hi, what's up? I'm Channel Pup, the mascot for the Level-Headed Fanboy. Welcome to a very special video. This video is not only going to have a couple of fairly sizable announcements that I think you guys are really going to love, but this outlines an exciting new future for my channel that you guys aren't going to want to miss. Now, before you start making fun of me, no, I'm not making a separate channel again. I've learned my lesson. As most of you watching will know, I like to talk about films and games and such. I've got a lot of love for these characters, and I like to share that love with you guys as we gush for over 9 hours about Spidey's Hollywood history, or what our favorite Sonic games are, so on and so forth. I've also made a series of videos called Pup Pitches, where I talk extensively about ideas for things that I would like to see done with these characters in movies, with my most popular episode being Pup Pitches, a Spider-Man reboot. Now, what you might not know is that since I was a kid, I've wanted to be a filmmaker. I graduated from film school last year, and I've done some industry work too. There are a few short films on this channel from my student days that you can view, including Burrito di Mano, which won Best Comedy at the Robinson Film Awards. So okay, I have no intentions of really changing my current content output. I'm really happy with the direction it's taking with the longer videos. I think you guys seem to really enjoy them too from the feedback that I've gathered. The Spider-Man retrospective, yes, it's been on a brief hiatus, but it will be continuing very soon. However, I have been quite a busy bee on some very exciting new projects. So, without further ado, let's make some announcements. I would like to introduce you all to my dream, Pup Pictures, my independent production studio, specializing primarily in non-profit fan films about our favorite characters. And there are currently 2 in development that I would like to show you today. Starting with Speeding Ticket, a Sonic adventure, which is currently in production as we speak. Speeding Ticket is an 8-minute live-action animated hybrid short. When Sonic is caught dashing through a rough neighborhood in Spagonia, he finds himself answering to the local government as he goes to appeal a speeding ticket. It's a witty, character-centric short that serves as a slice of life in the Sonic universe as our spiky blue friend wrangles with the concept of bureaucracy. Sonic is going to be portrayed as a zany little CGI guy in a world that's gotten just a bit too real for him, and will be animated by my good friend Heath Gleason. The model we're using was created by JC Thornton and is available on their Patreon page. They make fantastic 3D models, and we'll be bringing this Sonic to life using Blender. Now, we are aiming for a winter release this year for this short, so be sure to check it out. I think Sonic fans are really going to enjoy this little slice of life in his work. So far, it's been a lot of fun to put together, and here on screen you can see how Sonic is going to look in the final film, and I think he just looks terrific. Next up, we have a larger project titled Spider-Man Genesis, which will be a feature clocking in at between 40 to 80 minutes. The project is currently in pre-production and is an evolution of the project that I proposed in Pup Pitches, a Spider-Man reboot. Spider-Man Genesis is a celebration of the Steve Ditko age of Spider-Man comics, complete with a 1960s inspired aesthetic, despite it not explicitly taking place in any specific time period. In this story, we explore the distinction between a celebrity and a hero as we enter the preliminary days of the Amazing Spider-Man. While this is a formative story taking place in Peter's earliest days as Spider-Man, this isn't an origin story in the typical sense. We're not going to have like the Spider Bite, for example. This is more along the lines of the Batman, where we're seeing this iconic character's evolution from vigilante to hero. So this film will center around an element of Spidey's origins that we haven't really seen portrayed on the big screen yet: his time as a television star. But of course, the cutthroat TV industry creates its fair share of monsters, as our ignorant new Spider-Man must tangle with an enemy who's out to destroy his reputation in a bid to salvage his own. Meet Mysterio, New York's first superhuman and former star of the show of which Spidey replaced him. But confronted by the specter of a national disaster, Peter Parker must finally decide what Spider-Man is about. Does he fight for his fame, or does he fight for his city? Is he a celebrity, or is he a hero? Spider-Man Genesis will loosely adapt stories from Amazing Fantasy 15, Amazing Spider-Man Issue 1, and Amazing Spider-Man Issue 13. And I will be staying well within the confines of a Steve Ditko Spider-Man story, so there'll be no appearances from, say, Gwen Stacy or Harry Osborn, who weren't yet established at that time. And as for the filmmaking style, We're going to be drawing inspiration from 300, which used purely digital sets to produce a larger-than-life aesthetic that feels authentic to the graphic novel that it's based upon. This is mainly due to the fact that I don't live anywhere near NYC and filming locations can be incredibly expensive, so instead I'm building digital sets in Blender. Now I am fully aware that nothing beats the realism of a practical, tangible set or location, so I will be using these digital sets to artistic advantage, creating an abstract world for Spidey with a dreamlike quality. For example, through the power of digital sets, I can line the skies with blimps or the roads with 1960s cars and just really capture an old school aesthetic. To determine the feasibility of this method, because obviously it is very ambitious, I created a camera test where I had my friend and roommate Dom in a Spider-Man costume perched on a stool in our living room. And here you'll be able to see how that footage was transformed. Now keep in mind that this is a rough test. The lighting on Spidey isn't perfect. The suit you see in this video is not the suit Spidey will wear in the final film. It's just an amazing Spider-Man 2 cosplay suit, but because my buddy Dom doesn't currently have a mask for it, I let him borrow mine. So it doesn't necessarily match up with the CGI double either that you'll see in this test footage. It is just a test at the end of the day, but it's one that I think has come out quite nicely, so I want to show you guys this just to prove to you that this idea is completely possible. As for the suit, I will show you what that looks like after. So I am honestly really happy with how this rough test footage turned out. It proves that what I want to achieve is absolutely possible, and that creating digital sets in Blender and compositing footage into those sets is a game changer for amateur filmmakers. The suit is going to draw inspiration from the Steve Ditko suit, naturally. I'm looking for it to be made out of crushed velvet, and for it to have a homemade quality to it. Slightly loose-fitting, but without being baggy, but it's not going to be like skin tight. It's going to be complete with web wings, and I am debating whether or not I want the suit to have webs, simply because these would have to be drawn on freehand. So here is a version with and without. Something else I've been considering is painting them on with like a clear varnish, so that the webs would only really show up under very specific lighting conditions, which would mean that we'd have more control in camera over the look of the suit. There is no release date for Spider-Man Genesis as of yet, and I sure as hell don't want to jinx it. It's still in pre-production, but Peter Parker has been cast. These are going to be self-funded passion projects, meaning that they won't be made for profit, nor will they be crowd-funded. It's all coming out of my own pockets as a means of fulfilling my dreams and hopefully entertaining you guys in the process. We will be using my own equipment, which includes my beloved Blackmagic cinema camera. I'm really just looking forward, though, to getting my hands dirty as a filmmaker and learning some incredible new skills along the way. I've already learned so much about Blender and digital film production just through making that screen test, so imagine what more can be achieved. That being said, I do of course need money to eat and live, so production updates and behind the scenes stuff will be dropping on my Patreon, which will now be focusing primarily on these projects. There's going to be production updates, including videos and images, which will be available to all patrons, including those in the $1 tiers. And there's a lot going on as of right now, a lot of experimentation. Like, before you saw any of these tests here, there were earlier versions posted to Patreon. Before you saw the suit in this video, it was posted much sooner to Patreon, but there will be exclusive stuff going to that Patreon as well. Video diaries and the like. Anything I do to do with these films, you will see it on Patreon. Now, I did want to offer some assurance because I'm aware that fan projects come and go because sometimes life gets in the way, meaning that you kind of have to pack it in, and it would break my heart to do that. It can happen. I think it's important to acknowledge that. But I want to assure you that in that unlikely circumstance, I absolutely will release everything that does get made in whatever state it's in so that you guys can at least see what's there. But I am confident that with your support, my motivation, and an incredible team, that's not something we're gonna have to worry about. So stay tuned because there are some really exciting projects in the pipeline. If you do want to get involved in these projects to some capacity, I could always use additional Blender animators to help me out with things like web swinging. Because of the very non-profit nature of these projects, I'm not really able to pay anyone, but it's just if you want to be involved, basically, then by all means, you're more than welcome to. My only real stipulation is that if you do want to be involved in the project, you do need to be above the age of 18, because there's a lot regarding like child labor and stuff like that, and also just, it's a kettle of fish. So I'd rather just not. Alright, anyway, so yeah, that's what I've been up to lately, and that's some of what you can expect going forward. Production on Speeding Ticket, a Sonic adventure, is well underway, so you can expect that probably sometime this year. Spider-Man Genesis is going to take a little while, and I'm really going to take my time on it. I have made Spider-Man fan films in the past, but they've usually revolved around practicality, or like, can I make a Spider-Man fan film in quarantine? Can I make a Spider-Man fan film in 48 hours? This time, just no restrictions, we're making the film I've always dreamt of. So I'm just incredibly excited to share more updates with you guys. But yeah, of course, comment below, let me know what you think, and be sure to subscribe and hit the like button if you haven't already. And now a special shout out to my patrons, starting with the ones in the $10 tier. Their names are Glad Goku, Sharif Pai, Dare Denny, Kale Bennett, That Jordo, Ken K from Warheads, Is Sonic Team making you blue? Dimps leaving you dumped? Big Red Button giving you a big red headache? Try Sonic the Chronic. Sergio, Cyrus the Skeptic, the previous person is selling pictures of their weenus! Then we have the patrons in the $5 tier, who are SSS06, Joachim Sergini, Dazzle Fizzle, and Vera Wild. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and have a great day.